The second quarterfinal of the 2017 AT Trap House Baseball Canada Men's Championship will start in about 20-25 minutes time between the visiting team, Ontario 2, the Mississauga Southwest Pins, and the home team, Brunswick Royals. For those interested in what happened previously, TBC, the Bulldogs, defeated the Ontario 1 Tecumseh Thunder in the first quarterfinal game. BC now advances to play at 9 a.m. tomorrow against the Red Deer Riggers. Again, 9 a.m. Red Deer and BC, the Derby Bulldogs here at Royal Athletic Park. In the first of two semifinals, waiting for the result of tonight's game is the Sherwood Park Athletics. Play at noon against the winner of this game. The umpires for this game, Ryan Plate, Brian Hodgson. On the bases, Darcy Rice, Matt Tyler, and Nick Moore. Quarterfinal game, and they're moving on to the semifinal on June tomorrow against the Sherwood Park Athletics. First for Ontario 2, the Mississauga Southwest Twins. Leading off the third base, number 15, Troy Black. That is second at first base, number 12, Brendan Emmett. Batting third, number 3, the second baseman, Josh Perico. Batting fourth and playing right field, number 31, Jerome Smith. Batting fifth as the designated hitter, number 24, Mike Cardinelli. Batting sixth, the catcher, number 20, Cam Graham. Batting seventh, and at shortstop, number 65, Jordan Lance. Batting eighth, in left field, number 44, Mitch Roy. And batting ninth, in center field, number 7, Chris Piccini. The starting pitcher is number 90, Tyler X. For New Brunswick, the starting line, New Brunswick a home team in this game. Leading off, number 13, the shortstop, Blake Gallagher. Batting second and in left field, number 9 is Dave Barr. Batting third at first base, number 5, Mark Washburn. Batting fourth at third base, number 44, Mark Phillips. Batting fifth, playing in center field, number 10, Corey Wood. Batting sixth, and catching number 6, Jeff Walker. Batting seventh, and playing second base, number 23, Chris Keating. Batting eighth, designated hitter, number 26, Gavin Thomas. Batting ninth, and in right field, number 7, Tanner Banks. The starting pitcher is number 19, Jay Johnson. The 2017 Baseball Canada Championship in Florida. Also, in their 2018 back-to-back years, the title partner is 8th Street Tap House, and the presenting partner is BC Waters Corporation. I'd like to thank the following people: Baseball Canada official tournament head Al Whitson. The umpire chief is Steve Lieutenant. Great job by his crew this week. The co-chairs are Dave Coughlin and Gary Fire. The accommodation chair is Kelly Curra. Volunteer director is Jackie King. Umpire and scoring director Eric Matson. With the official scorer being Linda Sam. The financial director is Trish special thank you to Global Live Broadcasting for bringing all the games for Royal Athletic Park to viewers across the country. Professionally produced by Chris J. Fox, with cameras, replays, graphics, and a great staff to do it. All the people who take part in doing this. Mike Edwards, Jonathan Hodgson on air. Shane Mills on the Ustream from Maverick Park. A great job so far done by Global Live Broadcasting and the Chris J. Fox. Look at the lineup for today's game. There's the visiting team in this game.
Let's go, boys. Here we go. Come on, let's go. Stay up. All game. Go.
Leading off number 13, Blake Gallagher, the shortstop. Sorry, the wrong team. Leading off number 15, third baseman, Troy Black. Batting second, first base number 12, Brandon Terrence. Batting third and second base number 3, Josh Federico. Batting fourth,
Here with the audio video check. Check 1, check 2, check 3.
Tyler and next. Second and defense for the home team, Frederick Royals from New Brunswick. In the field, the right game bar, center field number 10, Corey Wood, and right field number 7, Tanner Hicks. At third base, number 44, Mark Phillips. Shortstop, number 13, Blake Gallagher. Second base is number 23, Chris Keating. And first base, number 5, Michael Washington. Starting batter is number 6.
Welcome back to Royal Athletic Park, a marathon day 3 at the 2017 Baseball Canada Men's National Championship nears the finish line. Game number 5 at RAP is quarterfinal number 2 between Ontario 2, the Mississauga Twins, and New Brunswick, the Fredericton Royals. The winner of this game heads into semifinal number 2 tomorrow at noon as the field begins to be cut down here at Nationals. You just sit back, relax, and enjoy the nightcap of a 5-game day here on Go Live Broadcasts. Jonathan Hudson and Chris Jaycox and our crew here at RAP. Last warm-up toss thrown down to second base. We're going to get the top of the first underway. New Brunswick is the home team in this quarterfinal number 2. Ontario 2, Mississauga will hit first. The starting pitcher for New Brunswick is left-hander Jay Johnson. He'll face the leadoff hitter and third baseman Troy Black. In there for a called strike 1 at 8:17. We will go through the Ontario 2 lineup. After this leadoff at bat of Black. Johnson looks into his catcher, Chris Keating. Called strike. He works ahead of Black 0-2. Jay Johnson, the former Philadelphia Phillies farmhand. 2-strike pitch. Strike 3 called. 3-pitch strikeout begins the evening for Jay Johnson. Lineup tonight for Ontario 2, Mississauga. Troy Black, followed by Brendan Emmett, the first baseman. Batting third, the second baseman, Josh Federico. Batting fourth, the right fielder, Jerome Smith. Fifth is the DH, Mike Cardinale. Batting sixth, the catcher, Cam Graham. As we see Emmett grounded to second base, thrown on to first by the second baseman, Devin Thomas, for out number 2. Bottom third of the order for Ontario 2, Jordan Grant at short, Mitch Roy in left field, and Chris Piccini in center field. 2 quick outs in the top of the first inning for Jay Johnson. The second baseman, Josh Federico, will stand in, missing for ball 1. Jay Johnson reached Double-A with the Phillies. 1-0 pitch upstairs. 2 balls and no strikes. Two-0. Called strike 2 and 1, just underway. Ontario 2 and New Brunswick facing off in quarterfinal number 2. The winner of this game faces Sherwood Park in the semis tomorrow. Fouled away 2-2. New Brunswick finished up the first round, winning it Pool A, 2-2. Is grounded to short, waiting for it, scooped and thrown by Gallagher, dug out at first base by Washburn, and that will end a 1-2-3 top of the first inning for Jay Johnson. We go to the bottom of the first. New Brunswick will get their first look at Tyler Annett. Just underway, quarterfinal number 2 on Go Live Broadcast. Bottom of the first inning, no score. Ontario 2 and New Brunswick. Right-hander Tyler Annett to the mound for Mississauga, Ontario 2. Leading off for New Brunswick is the shortstop Blake Gallagher. Gallagher takes ball 1. We will go through the lineup 1 through 9 after the Gallagher at bat. Called strike 1-1. A neat and tidy 1-2-3 inning in the top half. The 1-1 pitch. Broken bat past the mound. Charging it short. Bare hand play is not handled cleanly. So Blake Gallagher will reach on what should be an infield single. The pitch broke his bat. It rolled past the mound, and the shortstop, Grant, had to attempt a bare hand play, and he couldn't come up with it cleanly, and that is an infield single for Blake Gallagher. Here is Dave Barr. He takes ball 1. Dave Barr making a very strong bid for player of the tournament. He is 12 for 19 with 2 doubles, 3 home runs, and 14 RBIs. And just like that, he singles to left, and New Brunswick has 2 aboard with nobody out. So Barr is now hitting a cool .650. Mike Washburn steps in, the first baseman for New Brunswick, represented by the Fredericton Royals. First pitch is a strike. The lineup for New Brunswick: Gallagher and Barr, followed by Washburn. Then Mark Phillips, the third baseman. Batting 5th is Corey Wood in center. Jeff Watkin, the catcher. Chris will get back to that as that is skied deep to center field. Back to the track and the wall, and that ball is dropped in center field by Piccini coming in to score the lead runner. The ball is dropped in center. Leader runner Gallagher scores. The trailer runner Dave Barr stops at third. Washburn is up at second. New Brunswick takes the early 1-0 lead. Ball was hit very deep to straightaway center field. A double for Mike Washburn. Driving in Gallagher, sending Barr to third. That ball is skied. Shallow center. The play is made by Grant for out number 1. That was Mark Phillips popping out.
Center fielder number 10, Corey Wood.
Quickly moving inning is through to Corey Wood. Called strike 1 on Wood. Scoreboard doesn't quite yet have the 1-0 lead for New Brunswick, but it's on its way. 0-1 is a fly ball down the left field line, bleeding foul territory. The slide and cannot come up with it in left field. Roy on the dive. Goes as a foul ball, strike 2 on Wood. New Brunswick aggressive on Tyler Annett here in the bottom of the first. Infield single, another single, a double to center and a pop out has been the inning. It is 1-0 New Brunswick in the bottom of the first. Oh-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3, tag applied. The out is complete. Strikeout number 1 for Annett.
Number 6, catcher Jeff Watkin.
Catcher Jeff Watkin stands in. And the bottom third is Kidding, Thomas, and Banks. One run in, but 2 more big runs out there for New Brunswick. Bouncing away from the catcher, Graham, far on the right side of the backstop. Coming in to score on the wild pitch is Dave Barr. 2-0 New Brunswick. First wild pitch, charge to Annett. New Brunswick out to an early lead. 1-0 pitch. Swung on, hit high to center field. Not that deep. Now drifting back. And the play is made by Piccini. That will end a good bottom of the first for New Brunswick. They score 2 on 3 hits. We go to the second. 2-0 New Brunswick in quarterfinal number 2 at Nationals on Go Live broadcasts.
Yeah, they know. They got it. Hey! Boys, someone throwing a swamp, right? Somebody with the outfielder. Swamp. Eddie, I went out and did what you asked me to do.
Top of the second, 2-0 New Brunswick after an inning of play in quarterfinal number 2. G. Johnson back atop the hill. After a 1-2-3 first, he faces Jerome Smith to lead off the second. Ball 1 to the Ontario 2 right fielder. 1-0. Strike called, 1-1. Middle third of the order for Ontario, Smith, Cardinale, and Graham. 1-1, called strike, 1-2. Couple of ground balls and a strikeout in the first inning for G. Johnson. 1-2. Check swing, did he go? Jay Johnson asking him to check. They do, and they say no sir at third base. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two and 2. Popped up left side into left field. Back from short, and the play will be made by Gallagher.
Attaboy, Kelly! Attaboy, Kelly!
1 out for Mike Cardinale. Cardinale the DH tonight. Missing inside, ball 1. Mid-high 80s so far from Johnson. 86 to 88. 1-0 pitch, a called strike, 1-1.
Let her go, Phil! Here we go!
The pitch is lined to left field, sinking quickly, a base hit for Mike Cardinale. That single pushes his average over 500 for the tournament. First base hit against Johnson tonight. Had retired his first 4. In steps the catcher Cam Graham. Called strike 1. Cam Graham 3 for 7 in 2 games. Johnson lobs it over to first base. New Brunswick jumping out to an early lead with 2 runs on 3 hits in the bottom of the first inning. 0-1. Outside corner strike call, 0-2. Quarterfinal number 1 saw BC take it from Ontario 1 going away. Final score in that game was 11-3. 0-2. Strike 3 called. Strikeout number 2 for Johnson. Both of them have been called strike 3. 2 outs now for Jordan Grant. First pitch is in there for strike 1, called on a breaking pitch.
Here we go!
0-1. Another lob over to first base. Another throw over. Johnson paying some attention to Mike Cardinale at first base with 2 outs, thinking that Ontario might try to move the base runner up with 2 outs. 0-1. Missing inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Okay, here we go, kid. Anywhere takes ya. Easy way.
1-1. Check swing. It's a strike anyway. 1-2. Ontario 2 has a base runner here in the top of the second. It's a 1-out single for Cardinale. But Jay Johnson 1 good pitch away from a scoreless second. The pitch is inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. This Ontario 2 team was 2-2 in the first round. That is cued foul off the end of the bat. 2-2 in the first round, made it through. New Brunswick was 3-1. They actually placed second in their pool. Both Alberta teams won their respective pools. 2-2, foul tipped off the glove of the catcher, Keating. Or sorry, Watkin, the catcher. Watkin catches Johnson. The defense third to first, Phillips, Gallagher, Thomas, and Washburn. And the outfield left to right, Barr, Wood, and Banks. Another 2-2 will have to wait. Johnson has thrown over 4 times in this inning. Runner goes. Pitch is outside. No throw coming from Watkin. Stealing second base without a throw is Mike Cardinale. And Ontario has their runner in scoring position. It's all full. The payoff pitch is strike 3 called. Jay Johnson has 3 strikeouts through 2 innings, all called third strikes. And we are through to the bottom in the second. 2-0 New Brunswick in quarterfinal number 2 here on Go Live Broadcast.
Another number. Forward every inning here. Forward every inning.
Second base number 22, Chris Keating.
Chris Keating leads off the bottom of the second. Misspoke a moment ago. Keating playing second base, and Thomas the DH tonight for New Brunswick. First pitch is ball 1 to Keating. Ontario feeling that they should get that pitch after they were not thrilled with a couple of called strikeouts for Jay Johnson in the last half inning. Fouled away, 1-1. Bottom third of the order for New Brunswick in the bottom of the second. Keating, Thomas, and Banks. Called strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. First inning for New Brunswick, 2 runs on 3 hits. First 3 batters all came through. 1-2, just missing 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two and 2 inside ball 3. Getting 3 for 8 in the tournament. Payoff pitch upstairs, ball 4. First walk of the night issued by Tyler Annett. A leadoff walk here in the second to bring in Devin Thomas. Thomas, the DH. Grounded straight down off of himself, foul ball. Thomas appearing in his second game. 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs. This New Brunswick team hitting .363 as a team in the first round. Oh and 1. Outside corner strike call, 0-2. Lead it off walk to Chris Keating is on base. Set and delivered. Fouled straight back by Thomas. On the other side, Jay Johnson is throwing the ball well with 3 strikeouts already, so Ontario definitely needs to keep this game close to stay within striking distance. That is fly to left field, not that deep. Coming down for the left fielder Roy, and out number 1. Defense for Ontario. Cam Graham catches Tyler Annett. The defense third to first. Black, Grant, Federico, and Emmett outfield left to right. Roy Pagini Smith.
Go, Bobby.
1 out, 1 on for Tanner Banks. Swing and miss. Right fielder Banks, the 9-hitter. Banks 0 for 4 has seen action in 3 games. Runner goes. Pitch, the throw down, was a 1-hop throw, no tag applied. So a stolen base of second for Chris Keating. New Brunswick trying to add on to a 2-0 lead. One. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Both these pitchers sitting in the mid-upper 80s with their fastball velocity. One, 2. Fly ball, right field, not deep. Waiting for it. Tag at second. Bluffing at second as the ball is hauled in by the right fielder, Jerome Smith. Back to the top of the order for Blake Gallagher. Gallagher had an infield single in the first. Was the first of 2 to come around to score in that inning. Time called now by the catcher, Graham. He will go out to talk to Annett. A leadoff walk now stands at second base with 2 outs. Annett and Graham just getting on the same page with what they want to do with the shortstop Blake Gallagher at the plate. First pitch is ball 1. Gallagher came in hitting .313 with a couple of RBIs. Has added a 1-for-1 to it. Has scored 6 runs as well. 1-0. Ball 2. Two and a 0. Ground ball softly right side off the mound. Annett takes it himself and will go all the way to the bag for out number 3. A leadoff walk does not hurt. We are through 2 complete here in quarterfinal number 2. 2-0 New Brunswick leads Ontario 2 here on Go Live Broadcast. Just back underway in the top of the 3rd. 2-0 for New Brunswick. Their first inning lead holding up. Jay Johnson back to the mound. 3 strikeouts and 1 hit allowed through 2 scoreless innings. Leading off is Mitch Roy. Check swing on a ball in the dirt. Did he go? No, sir. At third base, Roy, Pacini, and Black. 8, 9, and 1 here in the 3rd for Ontario 2. Outside ball 3, represented by the Mississauga Twins. These 2 teams have the Sherwood Park A's waiting. Fouled back, out of play of the home plate roof. This game a true night game, beginning just before 8:20 this evening. Lights in full effect for almost the entire game. 2-2. Fisted it towards the third base dugout. Roy trying to lead off the 3rd for New Brunswick. Or for Ontario, sorry. Again, the 2-2. This one misses outside, ball 3.
Come on, Jay, right out of here now. Here we go, kid.
Payoff pitch, foul back. Good battle going on here. Mitch Roy 3 for 11 in the first round. Another 3 and 2 fouled away high over the left side. Making Jay Johnson work here to start the third. Mitch Roy at the bottom of the order trying to be an igniter for Ontario 2. Ground ball weakly, slow play it short. The throw over not in time. Speed of Mitch Roy earns himself an infield single on the slowly hit ground ball to Gallagher. He laid back on that play and just didn't have enough arm to get it over to beat out Mitch Roy. Leadoff infield single will bring in Chris Piccini. Piccini, the center fielder, has impressed with his defense in this tournament as he takes ball 1 high. Piccini 2 for 12 at the plate. Playing on the grass at third base is Phillips. Popped up right side with the runner going. This is trouble. Foul side of the bag. Play is made. Running to the bag. Double play. Chris Piccini just did what you cannot do in a hit and run. Pops the ball up with the runner breaking from first. And to make matters worse, it was just a few feet to the foul side of first base. So the double play, 3 unassisted, was fairly academic. Top of the order now with 2 outs for Troy Black. Troy Black, the leading hitter for this Mississauga team. 8 for 12 in 4 games. 3 doubles along with that. That one shot foul sharply over the left side. Little bit of a missed opportunity for Ontario 2 here potentially in the third. You would love to get a base runner on it for Mr. Black, who is hitting .667. Ball 2, 2-1. But the double play on the pop out of Piccini clears the bases. 2-1 fouled away left side. Johnson's 2-2, strike 3 called on the inside part. Strikeout number 4 shuts down the top of the third. We go bottom 3 here in quarterfinal number 2 at Men's Nationals. 2-0 New Brunswick over Ontario 2 here on Go Live Broadcast.
The official hotel sponsor, Accent Inns and Hotels Town. Passion Sports, Spinnaker's, Jackson's Ice Cream, Thrifty Foods, Tesseract Computers, Crispy Fish and Chips. The City of Victoria, Victoria Mobile Radio, Collins Barrel, Floyd's Diner, Crescendo Hair and Body, Save On Foods, Wilson's Transportation, the official transportation company of the tournament, Shelby's Laundrette, Everybody's Electric, the Black Press Newspaper Group, and Mayfair Optometric Clinic. Again, the title partner is Yates Street Tap House, presented by BC Lotteries Corporation. Left fielder on Dave Clark.
Bottom of the third, 2-0 New Brunswick leads Ontario 2 in quarterfinal number 2. Winner of this game advances to play in the semi Semifinal number 2 tomorrow at noon. Called strike 1 on Dave Barr. 2, 3, and 4 for New Brunswick here in the third against right-hander Tyler Annett. 0-1. Outside to the backstop, 1-1. Dave Barr has generated a pretty astounding amount of offense so far for New Brunswick in this tournament. You take his 14 runs driven in, add his 11 runs scored, and take away the 3 overlapping for his 3 home runs. Barr has generated 22 runs for New Brunswick in 4 games. 2-1 count here. Called strike, 2-2. In the inning, it will be Barr, Washburn, and Phillips. Two and 2. Outside, 3-2. New Brunswick had 2 runs on 3 hits in the first, no hits in the second. Just a leadoff walk. 3-2 to Barr, swing and a miss, strike 3. Tyler Annett gets the big bat in the New Brunswick lineup with his second strikeout of the night. That'll bring in the first baseman, Mike Washburn. Washburn doubled and drove in Blake Gallagher. His first time, and this time he will be hit by a pitch. Runner at first now, with 1 out for Mark Phillips. Phillips popped out to short in the first. First pitch, big swing and a miss. Phillips came in 5 for 15 with 2 home runs and 8 RBIs. 0-1, missing low. Emotions are high early in this ball game. Both teams up on the top step of the dugout. 1-1 is popped up shallow center field. Coming in from center to make the play, Pacini for out number 2. Two outs for Corey Wood. This is an interesting matchup here. These two are ex-teammates from their college days. Or sorry, not Wood and Annett. 1-0. Had another name in mind. 1-0 is fouled away. 1 ball, 1 strike. New Brunswick has another base runner here in the third. It's a hit by pitch of Mike Washburn. Couple of free base runners tonight. Walk to Keating last inning as well. Ground ball, second base. Scooped and thrown by Federico, and that will end the inning. We are through 3 in quarterfinal number 2. Score holds at 2-0 New Brunswick here on Go Live Broadcasts. Brendan Emmett leads off the 4th inning for Ontario 2, trailing into Brunswick still 2-0. Strike one poured in by Jay Johnson. 2, 3, and 4 in the inning for Ontario. Bunt shown pulled up the first base line. Off the bag at first, nobody covering. Bunt single to lead off the 4th for Brendan Emmett. Perfect bunt from the first baseman. Emmett pulled it with him up the first base line. He made the first baseman Washburn field it, and the second baseman Keating did not cover first base nearly in time, so there was no play. That'll bring in Josh Federico. Breaking pitch misses for ball one. Swung on, hit to center field. Coming in now by a step or two. The play is made by Corey Wood. Jerome Smith will hit with 1 out. Inside ball one. Hit in the 2nd and 3rd for Ontario, but nothing to show for it. Inside and hitting Smith on a 1-0 pitch. That will move Emmett up to 2nd. So Ontario has a couple of runners on, trying to get on the scoreboard and shorten up this 2-0 deficit. That is the first free base runner issued by Jay Johnson. No walks, and now that one hit batter. Missing outside, ball one to Mike Cardinale. (1-0). Fouled straight back off the facing of the roof. 1 ball, 1 strike. Emmett at 2nd with a leadoff bunt single. Jerome Smith being hit by a pitch is at 1st. Look back, and the pitch, swing and a miss, 1-2. Cardinale came in 4 for 8, now 5 for 9 with his 2nd inning single. Outside, ball 2. Coming in, Ontario 2 has 5 players tied with the team lead for RBIs with 2. Outside, ball 3. Johnson having to work hard here in the top of the 4th inning. Count has run full on Mike Cardinale. Looking in for the payoff pitch. Swung on, hit in the air to right field. That ball is back at the track, at the wall. That ball is gone. 3-run home run, Mike Cardinale. Deep to right, puts Ontario on top, 3-2. Emmett and Smith score on the 3-run home run. Just like that, 3-2 Ontario. Cam Graham is the hitter now. Ground ball down the line at third, a foul ball. Ontario reacted sharply on that. Ball hit up the third base line. For Cardinale, his first home run of the tournament, and he is now leading this team in RBIs with 5. 3 runs in, still just 1 out in the inning. We play top 4. Ontario 2 leads 3-2. Pitch is a called strike on the inside part, 0-2. 2 in the first for New Brunswick, 3 here in the fourth for Ontario. 0-2. In the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jeff Watkin doing the catching tonight for Jay Johnson. 1-2. Ripped foul up the third base line. In addition to having a pro career reaching AA with the Phillies, Jay Johnson also represented Canada at the 2013 World Baseball Classic, was involved in the famous brawl that Canada had with Mexico. Ground ball off the mound into center field past a diving second baseman Chris Keating. 1 out single for Cam Graham. Three hits in the inning now. Jordan Grant stands in. First pitch is rolled to second base, could be 2. On to the bag, turned over to first, double play. Keating, Gallagher, and Washburn, 4-6-3. Double play ball ends the inning, but a 3-run home run for Mike Cardinale puts Ontario 2 ahead, 3-2 going to the bottom of the fourth in quarterfinal number 2 here on Go Live Broadcast.
Next year, 2018, victory the 50th version of this tournament that we seek to celebrate. For sure, thank you very much to Baseball Canada official tournament head Simmons, umpire Steve Tang and his crew, co-chairs Dave Hoffman and Gary Ryan, and combination chairs Andy Burnett, financial director is Tristan, and volunteer director is Jack McKinney. Umpire scoring director is Governor Johnson, and scorekeeper is Nina Sandler. Our pet staff of Cameron Jones, Connection, Royal Swanson. Facility Director, Ken Pollard, and his group of New Year, and Harley William, Dave Gardner, with great crew over the second part and background part. Media broadcast and social media by Paul Steele, Jonathan Hobson, and Shane Mills, and ticketing by Harley The 8th Tackles 2017 Baseball Canada Men's Championship, presented by BC Lotteries Corporation.
Let's go. My boys don't like me now. Let's go. Go. Come on now, come on, here we go. Hey, what are you, baby?
Number 6,
Bottom of the fourth getting underway. The catcher Jeff Watkin leads off for New Brunswick. First pitch, strike 1 from Tyler Annett. New Brunswick now trails this game 3-2. 0-1, check swing, did he go? Yes sir, they say at first base. 0-2, quickly on Jeff Watkin. 6, 7, and 8, Watkin, Keating, and Thomas are scheduled in the inning. Oh-2. Fly ball, right field. Waiting for it in right is Smith. He'll make the play for out number 1. Second baseman Chris Keating stands in. He walked and stole second back in the second. First pitch, bunt shown, but he takes ball 1. That gets Black to flinch at third base. He's now playing a step back of the grass. Taken for strike 1. 3 runs on 5 hits for Ontario. 2 on 3 for New Brunswick. 1-1. Outside ball 2. Two one. Called strike. Chris Keating came in 3 for 8 with a couple of walks in the tournament. Now has 3 walks. 2-2. Missing ball 3. Three and 2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Strikeout number 3 for Tyler Annett is his second out here in the bottom of the 4th. Two quick outs will bring in Devin Thomas. He ropes one through the right side for a base hit. Single through the right side on the first pitch of the at-bat. That is hit number 4 for New Brunswick. Keeps the inning alive for Tanner Banks. Upstairs, ball 1. Banks flew out to Smith in right field, his first at-bat. One-0, inside. 2 balls and no strikes. Now the catcher, Cam Graham, goes out to spend a moment with Tyler Annett. That pitch on the 1-0. Missed way inside on Tanner Banks. Going back after Banks, big swing and a miss, 2-1. 2-out single is on base for New Brunswick in the bottom of the 4th. They trail Ontario to 3-2 in quarterfinal number 2. The pitch is inside, ball 3. We see a right-hander is in the bullpen for New Brunswick. Jay Johnson being victimized by a big top of the 4th inning. 3-1 pitch is ball 4 low. Back-to-back runners with 2 outs here in the 4th. That is walk number 2 allowed by Annett. Plenty of base runners tonight for New Brunswick. 4 hits, 2 walks, and a hit batter. Top of the order now. Strike 1 called on Blake Gallagher. Gallagher got on with an infield single in the first. Started a 2-run frame. 0-1. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Many thanks for joining us deep into your Saturday evening. This one getting going at just about 8:20 this evening. Scheduled for 7. Same as all games here at Nationals. Ground ball chopped to the right side. Tough play here. Second baseman flips to the covering Annett in time. Federico to Annett goes the play. And New Brunswick goes scoreless in the bottom of the 4th. We're on to the 5th. 3-2 Ontario 2 leads here on Go Live Broadcast.
He's all right then. Top of the 5th inning in quarterfinal number 2 between Ontario 2, the Mississauga Twins, and New Brunswick, the Fredericton Royals. First pitch is ball 1 to the backstop. Leading off for Ontario is Mitch Roy. Ground ball chopped first base line will turn foul on the last hop before the bag. 8, 9, and 1 will hit for Ontario in the top of the 5th. We'll see what they can do to follow up last inning's 3-run frame. All the run scoring going on the bat of Mike Cardinale, a 3-run shot. Swing and a miss. Strike 2 on Roy. Roy is 1 for 1. 0-1. That ball is blooped back of short, but it'll hang up for Gallagher for out number 1. One out for Chris Piccini. Inside ball 1. With Roy aboard in the 3rd inning. Ontario put the hit and run on with Piccini at the plate. Swing and a miss. Piccini popped the ball up just to the foul side of the first base bag, just about in the coach's box, and that made a 3 unassisted double play possible for Mike Washburn. Ground ball foul towards the 3rd base dugout. Hits are 5-4, and Ontario holds the 3-2 lead. 0-2, inside to the backstop. And now the catcher, Jeff Watkin, out to hand the baseball off to Johnson. Lefty and a righty continue to throw for New Brunswick. They're seeing if Johnson can get his outing back on track. So far, so good in the 5th inning. Popped up, back at the mound, now on to second base. The play will be made by Keating for out number 2. A couple of pop-outs as Johnson appears to have things back under control. A 4-6-3 double play ball ended the 4th inning, and now back-to-back pop-ups on the infield start this frame, missing inside and hitting Troy Black, the third baseman. So he will take first base. On now to Brendan Emmett. Johnson has now hit 2 batters tonight. Breaking pitch, strike 1. Runner goes on 0-1. The throw is not coming as Watkin didn't come up with it cleanly. Black steals second base. So he is in scoring position with 2 outs. Tapped foul towards the third base dugout. For Black, that is stolen base number 3 on the tournament. 3 out of 4. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Johnson looks into Watkin. The 1-2 pitch is popped up left field line. Could be trouble crashing in from left. The sliding play is not made by Barr. Coming in to score is Troy Black. And Brendan Emmett has a 2-out, 2-strike RBI double. Emmett's second hit nets Ontario their 4th run. New Brunswick was 1 strike away from being out of this inning. Now it continues with the runner at second for Federico. He fouls it down the right field line, and it'll 1-hop into the tarp down the right field line. RBI double on a bleeder for the first baseman, Brendan Emmett. For Emmett, that is RBI number 2 in the tournament. Ball grounded to third base, gloved and thrown across by Phillips. That will end the inning. But a 2-out double by Brendan Emmett scores the 4th run of the game. We go to the bottom of the 5th. 4-2 Ontario 2 here in quarterfinal number 2 on Go Live Broadcast.
Lots of baseball here, boys.
number 19, Barr.
New Brunswick hitting in the bottom of the 5th, looking for some offense. Time starting to run short on them, just trailing by 2 though. 4-2 as Dave Barr takes strike 1. Good part of the order for New Brunswick here in the bottom of the 5th. 2, 3, and 4. Barr, Washburn, and Phillips. 0-1 outside. Dave Barr tonight 1 for 2 with a run scored. One. Hit hard to center field and through for a base hit. Dave Barr continuing his torrid pace in this tournament. Now 2 for 3 tonight. Fifth hit for New Brunswick. Ground ball past the mound. Shortstop knocked it down, deflected to second base. The relay throw is off the bag. That ground ball was over the mound, deflected off the shortstop Grant right to Federico, who got the out at second, and his throw was off the bag at first. One on and 1 out for Mark Phillips. Ball 1 to Phillips. The third baseman is 0 for 2 today. One-0 inside, 2-0. With a runner on first base, New Brunswick 1 swing away from tying this game back up. A team that can go deep, 6 of them in 4 games. The man that played Phillips has a pair. 2-0, fouled back. New Brunswick grabbed the immediate 2-0 lead in the bottom of the first, but have been quiet ever since then. Tyler Annett has thrown up 3 straight zeros. 2-1. Ball 3. 2 walks allowed by Annett so far tonight. Don't want to start doing that here. Set for 3-1. The pitch is hammered to left field. Ranging over, reaching out, and it gets down, or no, it is made. Catch is made, and over to first base to double up the runner, Washburn, who thought it got down. That's a great play in left field by Mitch Roy to end the inning. There's 7-6-3 on the double play. Line out to left, and then the lead runner is doubled up because he was at third base thinking the ball was down. So we go through a 5 complete here in quarterfinal number 2. 4-2 Ontario 2 leads. We'll be right back on Go Live Broadcast. Jerome Smith leads off the Ontario 6th inning. They lead 4-2 after 5. Strike called in from Jay Johnson into his 6th inning of work. Middle third of the order for Ontario popped up back of short into left field. Calling off is Dave Barr. He makes the play for out number 1.
Number 24 is the designated hitter, Mike Cardinale.
One quick out for Mike Cardinale. He takes ball 1. Cardinale, the big bat for Ontario tonight, takes ball 2. Singled and stole a base in the 2nd and in the 3rd. Drove a 3-run home run to leapfrog Ontario on top 3-2 at the time. Now 4-2. 2-1 pitch. Inside ball 3. 1 out, top of the 6th. 4-2 Mississauga. Ontario 2. 3-1 pitch is swung on and hit well to right field, back and right to the track, and it falls into the glove of Tanner Banks for out number 2. Three good swings tonight from Cardinale. Now 2 down for Cam Graham. Ball 1. Ground ball, third base, backhand play, and it gets through into left field for a base hit. Graham will stop at first. Hard hit ground ball down the line at third. The third baseman, Mark Phillips, backed up on it. As soon as you start backing up as an infielder, you open yourself up for trouble. And that ball was just too much for Phillips. That gets through to keep the inning alive, and now the hitter will be Jordan Grant. Inside. Called strike 1-1. Grant has had a tough night at the plate, a strikeout and a double play ball. 1-1 outside, just staying close enough to keep Graham at first. Two one. Called strike 2-2. Lefty Jay Johnson trying to keep New Brunswick close, trailing 4-2. All the Ontario offense has come in the last 2 innings. This ball is driven to left field, not that deep in left for Dave Barr. That'll do it for the top of the 6th. We go to the bottom of the 6th. The score holds 4-2 for Ontario, the Mississauga Twins over New Brunswick, the Fredericton Royals, here on Go Live Broadcast.
center fielder, Corey Wood.
Corey Wood leads off the bottom of the 6th for New Brunswick. They have 6 outs left to play with, trailing Ontario 4-2. Wood, Watkin, and Keating are scheduled. Corey Wood in the game 0 for 2. That's in for a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike. 2 runs on 5 hits for New Brunswick. That ball is hit hard into the glove at first base. Emmett will take it to the bag for out number 1. New Brunswick did all their damage in the first 2 runs on 3 hits.
Come on, Jeffy. Yeah, baby. Doing you, 6. Let's go. Get it going here.
Since then, just a couple of hits against Tyler Annett. 1 out for Jeff Watkin. Watkin has flown out twice tonight. First pitch is lined over the head of the shortstop Grant into left field for a base hit. Over to cut it off Roy and get it back in. 1 out single for Watkin. New Brunswick has stranded 4 tonight. So too has Ontario. First pitch, strike 1. Justin Cormier is pinch hitting for Chris Keating. So Keating exits 0 for 1 with a walk. 1-1 to Cormier. Cormier in 2 games is 1 for 5. Outside corner strike call. Count goes 2 strikes on Cormier. Called 3rd strike on the inside part to Justin Cormier. The pinch hitter strikes out. 2nd out in the 6th inning. For New Brunswick, they're down to 4 outs to play with. Missing for ball 1. 4 strikeouts now for Trevor Annis. Driven over the left side, 1-1. New Brunswick had the better opening round, finishing 3-1. Ontario was 2-2. Ontario 2, that is. 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss, 1-2. Watkin was ranging off the bag a little bit further on that swing and a miss. And now the catcher Graham will go out to talk to Annis before the 1-2. They just want to make sure they know what they're doing on a big pitch here. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. One, 2. Grounded foul pass first. 4 runs on 7 hits for Ontario, 2 on 6 for New Brunswick. Another 1 and 2. Upstairs, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well played game. Either side has committed an error to this point. Set for 2 and 2. The Deuces pitch is lined to center field with something on it. Back in center, that ball will get over the head of Pacini. Coming all the way around to score is Jeff Watkin, an RBI double. Makes it 4-3. Devin Thomas coming through with his second hit of the day, driving a double to center field. New Brunswick going to the bench again here. Watkins scores all the way from first on that double. Serge Vautour is pinch hitting for Tanner Banks. 4-3 now. 2 outs. Bottom of the 6th inning. Runner up at second base. Serge Vautour, a left-handed hitter, takes ball 1. Vautour was 2 for 10 in 3 games in the opening round. One 0. Grounded past the mound, second base on the run, booted, kept on the infield. Now the throw to third base, and caught off the bag is the runner Devin Thomas, and he is out. The second baseman Josh Federico couldn't handle that ground ball cleanly. Was about to be an E4, but the lead runner Devin Thomas rounded third base too hard, was caught off base, and Federico threw over and got him. Huge swing there in one play. New Brunswick gets 1. We go to the 7th, 4-3, Ontario 2 in quarterfinal number 2 on Go Live broadcast. We go to the 7th, 4-3, Ontario 2, Mississauga leads New Brunswick, the Fredericton Royals. Fouled back on the first pitch of the 7th. Jay Johnson back to work for New Brunswick. Top of the order, bottom of the order for Ontario 2. Roy, Beccini, and then back up to Black. Mitch Roy, 1 for 2. Has to battle down a couple of strikes. 0-2, fouled away left side, giving it a look, but it goes out of play. Sounded like that hit off the top of the Floyd's food truck again. I'm sure that'll wake everybody up back there, including our broadcast truck. Last inning of regulation on a 5-game day. 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Picking up, going to first base for the out. The pitch was dropped, so the catcher Watkin had to complete it over at first base, and he did so. Chris Piccini will step in with 1 out. That is strikeout number 3 for Johnson, by the way. Piccini 0 for 2. Oh and 1. Long down the right field line into the soccer grandstand. 4 runs on 7 hits for Ontario, 3 on 7 for New Brunswick. New Brunswick will give themselves one more chance when we go to the 7th. They have the top of the order scheduled, and the top of the order has done some damage tonight for them. So I have a hunch that they are not quite done in this game. 0-2, bouncing in. Piccini takes to 1-2. One, 2, missing, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Deuces to Piccini, fouled away.
Put one down. Here we go, Jay. Let's go, kid. Here we go. Kid, take a play. Watch out.
Two and 2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Johnson here in the 7th. He had just 2 on his outing coming into the 7th inning. Now doubling that to 4. Top of the order. Troy Black, the third baseman, 1 for 3. Popped up out of play, left side. Two outs, nobody on, top 7. One more chance for Ontario to add on to a 4-3 lead. Good ball game tonight in quarterfinal number 2. In quarterfinal number 1, it was BC 11-3 over Ontario 1. That ball is lifted to right field. Over from center is Wood to make the play. That will do it for Ontario 2 in the top of the 7th. We go bottom 7. Ontario 2 has a chance to go through to the semis when we come back here on Go Live Broadcast.
Let's go. Come on, let's go. Grind it out. Walk one off here. Come on.
I'll give you a little that way if it is that inning.
Here we go, right?
New catcher for the Mississauga Southwest Twins, number 33, John Roll. And now pitching for Ontario 2, Mississauga Southwest Twins, number 45, Thomas Ray Cole.
Couple of changes for Ontario 2 Mississauga as we go to the bottom of the 7th. The new catcher is John Broll, and the new right-handed pitcher is Thomas Rincon. 4-3, Ontario leads to the bottom of the 7th. Last chance for New Brunswick. That's lined off the glove at first base into right field for a base hit. That's leadoff man Blake Gallagher getting aboard. He represents the tying run. Dave Barr now. This is right where New Brunswick wants to be. Down by 1, leadoff man aboard in front of the on fire Dave Barr. Dave Barr 2 for 3 and is responsible for 22 runs in this tournament. Rincon sets and delivers, missing for ball 1. Barr now 14 for 22 in this tournament. (1-0). Inside, ball 2. Now Barr can start getting selective. Your pitch, your spot. Ahead 2-0 in the count. Leadoff man Blake Gallagher on with a single, representing the tying run. 2-0 is ball 3. Behind Dave Barr is Mike Washburn. He has a double tonight. (3-0). That's in for a strike. 3-1. No matter the situation, you can't give in to Dave Barr here. If you're Rincon, this ball game could be over in one swing. 3-1. Popped up right side, foul ground, dug out. It gets out of play, hopping out for 0-4. Count fills on Barr, 3-2. High drama to the end here on day 3 of Nationals. This morning was the end of the first round, and this afternoon, this evening, has been the quarters. 3-2 on Bar. Ripped down the left field line, but he pulls it foul. Stays 3-2. Best hitter in the tournament, Dave Barr, the left fielder for New Brunswick, the Fredericton Royals. Another 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Rincon sits down the biggest bat in the tournament. One down, runner still at first base. Ontario trying to nurse a 4-3 lead to the finish line. The hitter now, Mike Washburn. Swung on, hit high and deep to right field. That ball is back and it will go. A walk-off, 2-run home run for first baseman Mike Washburn. His team is ready to meet him at the plate. New Brunswick, the Fredericton Royals, walk it off in the bottom of the 7th. Final score, 5-4. Just like that, the tournament comes to an end. For Ontario 2, the Mississauga Twins. And New Brunswick is on to the semis tomorrow, where they will face Sherwood Park out of Alberta in the noon game. So tomorrow it is BC and Alberta 2 Red Deer at 9 a.m. and New Brunswick and Sherwood Park, Alberta 1 at noon. Those are on Go Live broadcast. Those are the semi-final games. And then the bronze medal game goes at 4 and the gold medal game at 7. All 4 of those games are on Go Live broadcast tomorrow. So whether you've been here for tonight's game, or any one of our 5 games, or all of them, thanks so much for spending almost your entire Saturday with Go Live broadcast at the 2017 Men's Baseball Canada Men's National Championship. Final score in Game 5, 5-4 New Brunswick. The semis and the medal games coming up tomorrow. My name is Jonathan Hodson for Chris Jaycox in the truck, my partner Mike Edwards, and our whole crew. Thanks for watching, and we will join you again tomorrow morning.
For those wondering and haven't got Friday tonight, I want to tell you rather than a 10-round TKO of Quarterfinal. Any further 10-round TKO. A 5-4 win.